feel like my superpowers are you hear the dulcet tones.
The what?
The dulcet tones.
The dulcet.
Dulcet.
Man, you sound like you're like hiding in a cave somewhere.
I feel like I'm an R&B singer. Like,
Baby,
you know, from like the
baby.
1960s.
Let me go low,
And
slow.
everything's like, yeah.
Yeah. Welcome back. This is Baypoint podcast number 2.
Podcast number 2.
I hope you enjoyed the first one.
Scrap that.
Why scrap
I've
it?
got an idea.
What's the idea?
Do you have your acronym for this episode?
What is it? Like what we're going to call
Like
it?
TMM?
No, because it depends on what happens in the episode.
I'm just saying, if you have another acronym, I just find that funny.
What of like?
If you just make up something on the spot when you're talking and you'd be like,
I'm not gonna lie.
that's the
I don't know if this is too far.
Yeah.
But I'm like, today we're talking about the N word, killer, nutrition. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if that's too much. Or it might be.
I feel like
Did I push it? The N word nutrition, bro. You know what I mean?
do you know certain people, like, they're just so many people in life that are like, you can't say that because
Well, I can't say the N word.
that there's
and then
negative
nutrition.
connotations.
But I've never said a word apart from nutrition. That's what I'm talking. What are you talking about?
Okay, let's do that. I'm ready when you are to start. I say we do it.
People getting offended by nutrition, bro.
Nutrition.
Jesus.
But since we are talking about working out,
Yeah, I think we should get the workout stuff done first.
let's do the workout stuff first.
Mm-hmm.
Since it's a workout episode,
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold the hammer for
For the whole episode, mate. Yeah. Okay. Let's see how long that lasts. I didn't even see you, but I heard you pick it up, bro.
Right.
So when you say hold it, you're gonna hold it on the floor. You're gonna hold it up.
I'm gonna hold the hammer like this
Yeah.
for the majority. Oh, the whole episode.
Started off the
For
whole
the whole
episode.
episode.
I know you've got majority
Yeah.
for the next 20 seconds of this episode,
So how
bro.
long we got left?
That shoulder's hurt, yeah.
Shoulder.
It's 12 kilos, but 12 kilos all in that hammer bit at the end, and that
It's all
length
in my
of the
wrist.
weight. You're not used to holding that amount of length, are you, either?
This is pretty small for me, to be honest.
Yeah.
with you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not that girthy either. So.
No. Little small handful, mate. You know what I mean?
No, I've got big hands. Depends how big your hands are.
But yeah, workout stuff, man. I feel like we're just gonna be going on tangents and then going, so the workouts. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
no, we'll stick on topic. I feel there's so much to talk about workouts. Like the amount of stuff.
We can go on for years about how to structure anything, mate.
Oh,
It's just,
God, yeah.
and I think we're gonna try and go over bits, but not too boring and not too in depth because, like I said, it depends on a person. There's too many factors for it to be. There's this one answer to it all. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But one of the things I think we should start at basic is like different splits, and that's dependency on the frequency of how you're working out.
I'm not a gymnast. Explain what
You know what I
split
mean?
is.
Is that too many syllables for you, bro?
One too many. I barely did my GCSE.
Yeah.
So
Struggle, bro.
splits are what?
Well, not like splits like that.
Okay.
Keeping the sack intact, bro.
Yeah,
You know?
keeping a second tap, but what?
But the different splits. So basically, you hear people saying like, "Oh, I'm doing back today," or "Oh, I'm doing a hip workout," or "I'm doing upper today," and there's like different version of splits. So you can, in a week, I'm trying to think of working out as week by week rather than day by day. So if you want to do a whole workout in a week and you want to cover everything, and you're a bodybuilder, you need to have like a leg day and a back day and a chest day,
Leg
and a
day?
shoulder. Leg day.
Is that something that you're accustomed to?
But I hear about them in the news now and then.
You
But,
hear about it?
no, I like a leg day, man. I'm gonna have to do one because my knee's a bit sketchy at the moment.
Okay.
But I do love a leg day, man. It's different, isn't it? Because otherwise everything's just upper body.
Upper
all the time.
body, then.
You know what I mean? And it's getting too big, bro.
Yeah.
I need to sort it. I need to ratio it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like bodybuilding kind of thing because you're trying to isolate the muscle group to that specific thing. So then the whole idea of it is you need a certain amount of repair, obviously, then when you're working out. You can't just keep stacking on like rips and stuff in your muscle. I know you would try to. But
Bodybuilding isn't for everyone though. Like,
no, it's not. It's not.
Would you say it's for like your body frame? Because
We kind of make your body frame because bodybuilding is more about expanding the muscle.
Mhm.
And then powerlifting is more about densing it out with more muscle fibers so it becomes stronger. And then like hit workouts and AMRAP and all the wall killers and the midget cakers and all that, bro.
the AMRAC and the SAMSAC
and the RTO double MIs,
Yeah.
all of them, bro.
all of them.
But But that's like you want to lose weight. So there's like different categories of what you want to do, and then you can split your week up as a ratio of different things to then get a specific goal. Do you know what I mean? So if your idea is just to lose weight and you're not bothered, you know, I'll tone up a little bit, but I just want to lose weight, do load of HIIT workouts, and you can split them as like either whole body workouts. You do that, make 3, maybe 4 times a week, or if you want to do one every day and keep your frequency up, you can do it so it's like a upper body HIIT workout, then lower body, then a core. So then by the time you get to the first one you did, so the upper again, you had 2 days rest on your upper body. That's the
absolutely. And just like my expert kind of input here is high intensity training.
Yeah. High intensity interval training is what.
Well, that's why I missed one eye out.
Yeah. You're that short hit.
I don't want to look like too much of a pro.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like there is so much out there.
There's a lot, and it's all conflicting in certain ways, but all kind of depends on what you're doing. So it's hard to say this one's right and this one's wrong. It's what you're trying to do and for your body frame. So personally, I do like a bodybuilding kind of workouts each time. So I do chest separate to, I do chest and shoulders group now because of my chest injury, but I do like a leg day, then a back day, then a chest and shoulder, then an arm day, and then I cycle back to the leg thing. So it's like every week and a half. Yeah. I'm doing like it twice. Do you know what I mean? But there's loads of people who like doing upper body and then just lower body. So they do all their upper body movements in one workout, then a lower body movement.
Yeah, like upper body. Yeah. Just.
You put it down already.
No.
How many minutes is that, bro? That is not that many minutes.
Oh, mate, it weren't even the thing. I just wanted to demonstrate.
Bro, the fact that I could see your eyebrows like twitching and sweating whilst you're holding a weight in there means you were tensing a lot to hold it.
Dripping.
Yeah, I can tell, bro.
But even with this stuff, like, you always hear, go to the gym, do what is known as isolated lifting. I've never been one for that. I've never enjoyed. I think there's a few people in the same boat and category as me. Like, I don't necessarily go into the gym to lift my chest, or lift biceps. There are such a wide kind of variety of things you can do that you've mentioned already.
Yeah.
But it's kind of finding. Would you agree? It's like finding what's good for yourself. Like, for example, like you're clearly not built to run, or cycle,
run,
or swim. But if it's like isolated muscles, like that's clearly what you're.
I'm that bad boy dolphin for that water, mate. You know what I mean?
Okay, like I was saying, you're clearly built for. I would say like isolated lifting, maybe cross.
That's because that's what I do. Yeah. So you kind of tailor it to if I wanted to be, a water baby or something, and I wanted to be more streamlined and narrow and all that, then I'd do more HIIT workout, more swimming, more that, and you adapt to that. That's why it is important to kind of like choose your training method appropriately for what you're trying to do. Otherwise, you end up kind of doing something and going in the wrong angle maybe, and then you're like, I've got to backtrack a bit and then go on to the other thing.
But how do you know what's for you?
Well, it's in like bodybuilding is, like I said, that's expanding the muscle called hypertrophy phase, and it all depends on like the amount of rips you get in your muscle, and depends on the effect. So if you're wanting to get a muscle bigger, you do slower reps, more high count of reps. So you're doing like bigger sets of 15 or whatever, rather than like the strength training. And then certain rips, because they're little and often, expand the muscle. If you want it to be stronger and more dense and be putting on a bit of weight, you can do powerlifting workouts, which is, low reps, high weights. And then that gives a muscle a deep rip, and then that becomes more dense. So I personally know a bit more about the science stuff than some people, not everyone at all, mate, not gonna lie, but it's and that makes it easier to choose what I'm going to be doing and how to alter my program. But I'd say most people have the goal of, I want to lose weight and then tone up a bit.
But that's all like
most people
do, but all I'm seeing nowadays, it's my 30-day fitness, but
that's like the good start, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's like the kickstart thing to the process. And then you got to go somewhere from that. You can't just do 30-day fitness over and over again.
I don't see longevity in that, like get a 6-pack ab in 30 days. No, I don't see like...
You can get a difference.
There's a process in it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't subscribe to no 30-day ab thing, because...
If you've got abs in 30 days, I'd be pretty impressed.
I could probably get abs in about a week, but let's not talk about that. But
completed it already, yeah?
Completed it, yeah. Like, what's abs? That's like 2011.
I'm talking about that ab, just
Yeah.
that one big one, mate.
But when looking at like these kind of short kind of, you see them all the kind of 30-day fitness or 30-day challenges and all of that. I feel like that's just, I mean, for me personally, it's just not for me. I can't even work out every day. I could easily do 3, 4, potentially 5 times a week, but I'd get bored.
Yeah, and that's where, like, not gonna lie, the home training sucks a bit now because it's more boring. It's not like it doesn't work as much or like it's pointless doing it, but 100% it is the more mundane version of training. You don't get as much variation in the gym and stuff like that, but it still works. Do you know what I mean? So I'd say like the only difference between working out in a gym or doing like the Viking game stuff outside is at home when I do my lockdown workouts, it's more sets and more higher reps of the same things. So I'm breaking down movements.
So you can still achieve that.
You can still get it. I did. I like the first lockdown, I was like, let's put more into it, mate, and start eating better. And worked out most days. And I only had a little barbell that went up to like 40 or 50 kilos, and a couple of dumbbells that went up to maybe 10 or 15. And that's still a good amount of equipment for home workouts. But with that, I'm there being like, it's boring because I'm doing like 6 sets of the same thing. But I know that it works, do you know?
Well, we're in the lockdown of do an hour's worth of mandated government exercise that sounds like prison time to do your HIIT workouts, and I guess we try to basically say variety to stay interested.
Yeah.
Me personally, I just don't stay interested. I'll do like HIIT workouts at home. Then I go for a walk and I just don't get the same level of fulfillment.
That's not. I think the one of the hardest things is going, I'm going to do this workout for an hour and dedicate that, because you haven't changed your environment or anything.
No.
So when you go to the gym, you're like, oh, I'm here to do this. So you're like, I'm in the mood to get a sweat on. I'm in the mood to like feel knackered and all that stuff. Whereas at home, you got TV, you got Cheetos, you got your cat like chilling out, Cheetos, sleeping every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just get that big dipper, bro.
Yeah, you put some dip in your chip.
The Cheeto dip, is that what
Cheeto dip?
I
buy a Cheeto dip and I get is it Domino's? Not Domino's.
Oh, the garlic and herb.
Dorito dip. So I buy Cheetos with Dorito dip.
So you mix matching your crisps.
I have to. I feel like getting out of the home, trying to do something new. The one thing I was doing that was new. I would just go to a hill and do sprints.
Yeah, that's good.
I was finding everyone was doing a 5K run. I would do a 5K run. Not tired, not interested.
But it's too long for me, mate. Like, I was there being like, if I've got to do a 5 or a 10K, I'm like, Jesus, mate, that's going to be however long of just doing the same thing. And that bores me personally.
Yeah.
Whereas I know it's the opposite to people. Some people love that and they hate what I do. But I'd rather do like sprints or a HIIT workout or something where I'm doing it for cardio reasons and structure.
Absolutely.
But I've still got like, I'm doing 10 sets of this or X amount of sets. Like that to me is more tangible to count down. Do you know what I mean?
I think through just having a lifestyle of just my life's been interval through basketball. So when I would do a sprint, I will sprint like 30 meters and time myself. And let's say I do 30 meters in, let's say 4 seconds, 5 seconds. I am pretty rapid. Probably could do it in 3, but let's say 4 or 5 seconds. It's the challenge of keeping it within that time 10 times, 20 times over.
Well, the good thing is, so what do you call it? Hashtag advertising at the moment, bro.
Okay.
Is Baypoint, me and some other people here have been coming up with different workouts for you lot to do at home.
Make sure you follow Baypoint on IG as well.
IG and YouTube, man. Like I said, this is on YouTube. So if you watch our podcast at all, like I said, on that same YouTube channel, we have loads of different workouts to be doing.
Make sure you subscribe to that as well.
And we'll just play this in the background because this is like to give you a demonstration. But,
okay.
But this is where, like, again, this is a step follow through bit where instead of it being this is what you do exercise wise and that's all you're doing, it's this is what you're doing and you can follow through the whole thing. So it doesn't have to be like, I've got to have my own motivation to do that. You have me and Jess to go through it and then you'll try to keep up with us. And it might not be that you can finish it first time, but then second time you get better and then it gets easier and then you can add more stuff in.
Even if you can just like do 50% of the speed, it's You started.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. You got to always let it progress. I think one of the things people do is they think I've got to be sick at gym,
keep up with that
I've got to
person
complete it and all that. But you've basically got to start at a point which is pushing you a little bit, and then slowly increase it, so then you've got somewhere to go with it. If you're smashing your workout to a point of I'm really good at it performance-wise, and it was not easy, but it was very doable, there's no point you don't compete in gym, you don't perform in gym. There's no like, unless you're in CrossFit games or whatever, or Viking games. But otherwise, it's just a tool to then go, I want to get this outcome or this stimulus from it. So then I'll lose weight or I'll gain muscle or I'll do this. So you got to slowly, incrementally get a little bit better, and it gets a little bit harder. So then you kind of stay in that same point of this is a struggle. I think like some of my clients would always get a bit fuming at me because then like, as soon as I find this easy, or as soon as I get that bit, you then make it harder. And they're going, that's pretty much my job, keys. Otherwise, you just sitting there doing the same thing.
If you're doing the same thing, like I know, for example, like more of a beginner thing. Like my mum, she wakes up every morning, crack of dawn, like 5:30, and she'll walk for the best part of an hour and 30 minutes at a leisurely pace. But I've you know what it's like with some older people, and I'm at my mum here as well. It's, you know, she needs to walk faster, you know, get to that what's commonly known as that steady state.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, in like, say if she'd done that for a couple of weeks or whatever, she'd have an improvement over a couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
But if she done that for 3 months or whatever, it would kind of be like she's just maintaining a certain thing. So it's not really progressing anywhere. So you don't have to always up the distance. Otherwise you're walking bloody 30 kilometers every day. You accumulate too much. But you can up the pace a bit. You can do, like I said, that's why I like the hit workouts and stuff, because that personally it's more tangible for me to go, I can up that set, or I can up that amount of reps or that time I'm doing this thing. Do you know what I mean? Rather than it just being overall,
it's the small differences. I remember when I used to be like really skinny, and then I got like really fat.
When was that, bro?
Really skinny was like,
I don't remember that.
Met you, I was like a bag of sugar. You know,
that's when I was the big one, bro.
Yeah, that's when you was fat. And I literally was as big as your leg.
Yeah.
But it's like those times, it's like, you know, I was trying to get bigger, but the only way I got bigger is by, like you were saying, like, you know, lifting heavier, but always lifting the bar so I could get, I guess, bigger and stronger. And now I've filled out, and I don't know if it's helped me. I mean, I got fat for a little while, but then I got back into shape, but it's always pushing it. So I don't know what gets people to push themselves to be a better version of themselves. But I know for me, it's like, and even with yourself, if you want to do something, you got to push yourself. It's not pushing yourself like over 100% of what you already do. Maybe go to like 5% and 10%, and you all start. I personally think you do start feeling slightly better.
Yeah.
I remember when I came back after I broke my arm that we spoke about in episode 1 that you laughed about.
It's pretty funny.
I had a kangaroo pouch. Literally, you were small enough to fit in there. But like, I needed to get rid of it.
Yeah.
So like, it wasn't a case of I'm going to start running 5Ks. I hate running 5Ks. That's not for me. It never was. I can run it, but I get to it and I don't feel like I've achieved anything.
Yeah.
I've even ran 15 miles before. I don't feel like I've achieved. Ask me to run 20 sprints. After like the 5th sprint, I feel like I've achieved something. So I think it's like goal setting. That's what I was like mentioned earlier about those 30-day fitness kind of fads. Or even though I know like training for yourself, you'll give a client 6-week training program.
Yeah, and then it will kind of change and get a bit different.
The next 6 weeks is not the same 6 weeks. No, we're gonna change. We're gonna up reps or up weights.
Yeah, it depends what you're doing. I like to think of it as a scale though, yes. So you know you got like the lifting scale of when you're lifting weights and repetitions and like powerlifting compared to bodybuilding, compared to muscular endurance and athletic stuff. So the less reps you do and the higher the weight, you'll get stronger. Yeah, and then it goes into a bit further. So if you do that's between let's say 1 and 5. If you do between 8 and 12, that's getting bigger, so it'll expand the muscle. If you do 15 plus, depends on how long you've been working out, it kind of does a bit of expanding and a bit of losing weight because you're burning more calories whilst doing it. Anything above that's a bit too much muscular endurance, and then that's kind of goes into the cardio ends, because cardio movement, say if we're doing this is still a resistance based body weight, but it's not as much a resistance as if I'm having a bar on my back and then lifting it. So there's different settings and different weights you're lifting cause a different stimulus, and then you get a different outcome out of it. So that's why you got to kind of choose what you want. Like this stuff will tone more, and this will burn more like fat doing it, and you'll tone a little bit. but you won't get as much bigger muscles or stronger muscles really, like after a while of doing it. Like, again, everyone gets a increase from the beginning when they've gone from nothing to something. But yeah, and it's the same with cardio, I think, where if you do a half-hour run, that's you might ache a little bit, but if you do 20 sprints, you'll ache more, I think, because
100%.
There's more exertion and force going through that muscle when it's contracting and sprinting compared to the repetitiveness of it jogging. And I think, right, jogging for me, I don't like the running in issues. People get like, my joints get knackered. I just ache, like but my joints ache rather than my muscles aching, and that's what I don't like, because it's that like constant hitting, like impacting.
But I find a lot of people do those runs and they're fixated on calories and burning calories. And one thing I've had to learn, like, look, I'm 6'6". I'm not meant to be, 13 stone. Like, I'm 6'6". What?
Well, I think I'm 13 stone. Yeah.
Exactly, but you're 5'1".
Right.
So that
at a half.
Probably at a half. So that probably suits you and your booster seat. But for me, like, it was being comfortable. In that weight zone. But I'm now I'm like 19 stone. But I can guarantee I'm as quick as ever. I can't jump the same because obviously weight and all of that. But I can.
And you're getting old, bro. That's everything.
It's not even about getting old.
Because you're older than me,
I've got by like a couple of days.
Bro, that's too much.
It's more about I've just got more comfortable, and I think there's a level of, especially after sports, I kind of did this thing where I filled out. I've done 26 years old. So you kind of fill out, and it's just kind of like you're in a new realm, and I think we all deal with that as adults. Like,
but I think that's where, like, because one of our other topics was going to be like body positivity. Yeah, and I think that's linked with that, where you need to be happy within your own progress. So I think I'm not a massive fan of body positivity, where it's like, oh, you're happy, you should be happy exactly how you are. You don't have to do anything, and you can just be like huge or a little bit or whatever, and you're not actually happy with yourself because you're not improving or getting anywhere.
But with that,
and not everyone has to, but a lot of people have that within them where they want to be a slightly better version of themselves.
Yeah.
And I'm there going, you should find a bit more comfortability in the fact that you're doing something to achieve some progress. Absolutely. Rather than it like an end product. I'm not the end product. I'm fuming now. I'm annoyed about the whole thing. That's not what it's about. It's that I'm quite happy that I'm doing something most days, if not every day,
to improve
consciously to improve myself. Yeah. And that's the bit where you go, okay, I'm happy doing this stuff because I'm always going to be getting better doing it that way. And yeah, I might have a donut last night. Yeah, I mean, Biscoff stuff and all that. Yeah, I mean, it was all right.
Calorific, but
I'm not, but most of the time I'm eating fish or like greens and staying healthy, and like a little paneer nowadays, mate. Paneer, I'm a fiend for it, not gonna lie.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I think body positivity should be, in a way that you're happy with your own version of improvement and doing something, rather than being like, oh, I'm staying stagnant.
I'm staying stagnant
in the same place.
I kind of, without being like too controversial, I think it's just an excuse sometimes. I think we kind of like rest on our laurels, like, I'm happy, like, leave me alone mentality. But I feel like it's on two sides of the pillar, just like the things that I see, read, and all of that. There are people that you just can't get to. Like, I'm not going to be, a skinnier version of myself that when I eat, I don't put on weight. Unfortunately, I eat and I put on weight, and obviously so do you. Sorry. I remember like 10 years ago. Like,
you flashbacking, yeah?
Flashback.
Vietnam, bro.
It's a big flashback.
Yeah.
But
it's a beefy flashback, mate. Give it that.
Massive.
Yeah.
But no, it's man, you just made me lose my point, man.
We're talking about how thick I was and that I was still beautiful in it. And then obviously there's body positivity of being thick and that. But I've turned into a bit more of a not as over the top flowing thickness.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But it's that improvement. Like I'm around a lot of people who, like, I've been trained by some of the best in the UK. Follow Mills Fitness on their IG. But it's more to do with, I hear people say, all I want to do is lose some weight off my thighs, which is more of it's a genetic thing. Yeah,
to change your body structure completely, as in go, oh, I don't store fat in these places, I store it in those places. You can do it to a certain extent hormonally wise.
Yeah.
But one, that's like, you're always bang on nutrition and that's it, and not many people can do that anyway. And two, it's like, if you've got like chunkier legs compared to your torso or whatever, it's kind of like, we'll run with that and be the fitness version of that. Do you know what I mean? Like, again, one of my guys I used to work with, he was like a smaller, skinny build. And then he'd be like, oh, I want to be like hench and bulky and stuff. And I'd be quite easily bulky. I don't think was a good bulky. It was kind of rounded off at the edges, sanded down a bit. Yeah, the MDF dust all over the place, mate. But it was more that he wanted to get that. And I'm there going, bro, I like that when he does his fitness, he'll have a six-pack straight away. And he'll all the muscles and all the improvement you'll see quite early because he's from that smaller, skinnier build. So maybe just run with what you got. I know that I'm bulky and I know that I can put on a bit of size when I need to, and it's harder for me to cut down and trim. And
be that kind of.
I'm going to always want to cut down and trim, and then someone else who easily cut down and trim always wants to be a bit bulky. You always want what the other person has anyway. But it's I think just run with what you got, and then just keep improving that version of it. And then that way, like I said, you're always in that like cycle of going, oh, I'm improving, and that's where. Like I said, just don't be stagnant with it. Don't be like, oh, this is how I am, I give up. Because it is kind of a give up mentality where you can't do nothing about it.
I think the scary thing is, you said it, especially episode 1, about the muscle fat kind of like muscle weighs more than fat. I don't bother with the weighing scales too much because, you know, since I've come back, I've like lost my kangaroo patch by just having a better lifestyle. Just drinking.
But I reckon you've lost a bit of weight, but not crazy amount of weight.
I've probably lost like half a stone, but it's not like half a stone and I look skinnier. It's half a stone. And one of my areas of it. One of the areas I store fat is around my stomach. Yeah. You know, and I blame that purely on Stella Artois. Yeah. You know. Yeah.
That's cuisine, mate.
You know what I mean? So that's the
cultured.
It's very cultured, absolutely. You know, I actually drink beer, so but it's that finding, it's a finding of a balance and just, you know, not being scared. Like, I guess that's my biggest takeaway.
Well, like I said, I think people try and put that unattainable end product right in front of them, and that's why you get people like kind of wanting cheats and tricks to get there, like the 30-day abs and stuff. It's like they then go, oh, what I can do what I want to like do, and it's in 30 days
with a passion. Like,
it takes longer.
You see these people on social media is like, if you want abs like mine, and I'm thinking, hang on, I'm not 5'10".
Yeah.
Right, and I'm not built like you. So how am I going to get abs like you? I'll have my own version of abs, but I will not have those abs.
And then you might like someone else, but then someone else is going to go, oh, what that, you know, because Khalil was this build, I like how he looks when he does. Do you know what I mean? There's
like,
different genetic builds mixed with the structure of the workouts. And I think that's where, like I said, I think everyone thinks that you can change your body to be a different genetic structure as well as it being a different workout structure, and that's not the case. I think it's, you've got an element of you've got what you've got, and then an element of you can change what you've got, but you don't, it's not all one and all the other. Do you know what I mean? It's a mixture. Personally, like if I was to change my genetics, bro, I'd be sprouting up about a foot or two right now. You know what I mean? So imagine that. 5'5". Bro, imagine my build at bloody 6'6", bro. You'd be scared. You'd be scared a little bit.
You'd be heavy.
I'll be heavy.
You'd be 25 stone.
And I'll make you call me daddy, bro.
I wouldn't.
You would.
I really wouldn't.
I reckon I wouldn't even have to ask you. You know, you just know the hierarchy.
I wouldn't. You wouldn't know where to buy your clothes.
25. I'm rubbing your clothes, bro. I'm filling them out
with a basketball arm. Basketball arm for shoulders. Like,
I'll deal with it now, mate. It's stretchy material. I mean,
so with all this stuff that we've kind of covering with like workouts and all of that, there is not one workout that you should do. And I think if you're a beginner, what are we saying? Just get active?
Just get active and do more than what you're doing. And that's like the main thread for the whole of fitness, because if you can up it week by week, it doesn't have to start at the most intense nuts level, but it's always then accumulating, and then you're always getting a stimulus to then lose weight or gain muscle or whatever your goal is. So I think just start out a bit small, but constantly improve and constantly try and up something. And it's what you like. So there is the long distance stuff, there is the cardio stuff, there is the HIIT stuff, and then there's the weights, lifting heavy, lifting reps, doing drop sets, pyramid sets. There's loads of different ways to do it.
Well, you know the other way, that's just totally fun.
No.
It's just playing sport. I know we're in lockdown right now, but if you could go outside, you could socially distance playing football, I could tell you that now. Or you can, I don't know, like if you could play tennis somewhere or just do something that's getting you active.
Actually, don't know.
It gives you the same sort of effect.
But I know for a fact when it was before lockdown and we're doing our basketball scrimmages or we're doing a bit of badminton or we're doing whatever, if we did that for an hour and a half or an hour, I'm sweating out I'm knackered, and it's ridiculous amount of cardio compared to what I normally do. And that's why I'm not just struggling going, I'm watching the timer on it, or I'm going, this has been a minute. So if I do this 4 more times and that gets to 5 minutes, and then I've got to do that 5 more times, and then it gets to this. I mean, I'll do way too much maths when I'm on a treadmill, mate.
The treadmill is like,
I'm just waiting for it to be done.
It's like 25 minutes left, and that means I'm running at level 10. It's ridiculous. But
my velocity
in every step I take, and actually I'm going to take a sip of water, but it has to be no.
But sport, you just do it.
Sport, next thing you know, you've ran. Literally, you've been doing interval training for the best part of 2 hours, especially for basketball. I'm referencing here. Yeah, for me, it's muscle memory.
Yeah,
like I will lose the best part of 8 to 12 pounds when I play basketball because I don't have a job where I'm active. I'm literally at a laptop most of my day, so I guess that's the benefit of doing.
And you're like creatine or something because you're a little bit like bloated at the moment, bro. I mean,
no, I'm not bloated. It's just called just body weights.
Oh, okay.
Just lifting my own weights.
Then if you was like been stung by bees or something, you know what I mean?
No, people do think I'm swole, but honestly, it's organic.
What kind of swole, bro? I mean, there's face swole and there's allergic
I'm not face swole. I'm sore in other areas.
None of you can see though. But I think, not gonna lie, I kind of wanted to like round up there because I wanted to talk more about nutrition and how that relates to that. Like I said, there's different variations of the workouts on our YouTube channel as well, because we've got yoga, we've got aerobic, we've got the HIIT class. Obviously, there's not as much of lifting weights on there because that's kind of easier to get across. So I've got some of that stuff on Mills, like the Mills Fitness Instagram, where you can follow the
it's quite easy to get into.
But at the moment, this is the one to do, mate, because it's look at me just checking what's going on. I look way too tired as well, man. But yeah, for home workouts, no equipment, this is what it is at the moment. And then you can get bits of equipment and start doing and upping it a little bit. But until the gym's open again, I don't see much point in going, this lat pull down movement or this whatever movement. But like I said, I do want to talk about nutrition and how that goes with it. And yeah, I think we'll be back with the second round of this podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think in the meantime, if you go to the YouTube channel,
Baypoint,
I do subscribe, so don't even try and
I'm not mugging you up, bro.
I thought you
don't know what you're subscribing to.
I know what I subscribe to, so definitely get involved. Do it in your own time, and if you want to know more information about this stuff, please do hit up.
Yeah, and there's not just one video of the one HIIT workout. There's like 3 or 4 on there at the moment, and then there'll be more going on in the next couple of weeks. So you've always got a slight different variations, slight different structures of it, so it's not too boring doing it, and you get to laugh and mug me off because I'm way too tired doing it. You can tell sometimes I'm there just looking at the clock, bro, being like, I'm knackered. How is everyone else on their Zoom class not knackered right now?
But I think they're thinking the same when they're watching you.
Yeah, maybe.
Now that I can bring this up, Jess was dogging you at the start of this workout. I saw it in my peripheral. She was going faster than you. On the squats, 100% she was going faster than you. I just want to bring it up.
Did they have the stamina there as well?
Yeah. You guys don't even
We're both just shaking off, bro. Look at us. You're having a good time.
Wow.
Nice teas as well, eh?
Nice teas.
Right, we're going to leave it there. And we'll come back to you with more nutrition stuff.
Yeah, tune in next time.
In a bit, bro. Bro, it's not complicated sometimes.
It's not that. I'm like, where's the mic? Is it the? I'm like,
in the same. It's not here.
Is it close to your nose?
No.
I don't know what it is, but I'm like, if I play with anyone, I can hear them breathing. It's not that you're breathing. The breathing doesn't piss me off. Breathing doesn't piss me off. What pisses me off is I'm trying to concentrate.
Yeah, but I'm concentrating. That's what I'm breathing.
Yeah, but you can't hear yourself breathe.
It's my breathing.
I'm there laying down, like trying to kill somebody.